Hello and welcome back to Loquitur Gaming. I'm continuing on testing out the new starter decks for the Lord of the Rings, the LCG. Lord of the Rings, the card game, I think is the official title of it. So I now have the Dwarves of Durin and Defenders of Gondor decks that I'm going to try out together. I said it in the last video, but what I'm kind of doing is I'm just doing a test game with the first scenario from the core box, the revised core set, to kind of see how the decks play. And then I'll probably pick two of these four decks to take the decks through the starter campaign with the additional two, I think it's two scenarios that come in that other little Mirkwood pack. I haven't played through that campaign yet. Well, in the new form, like I said in the last video, I had this game when it very first came out, and I had everything for the game, but I sold it at the beginning of the pandemic, sold everything. So it's kind of like a restart of the collection. But anyway, so these decks, we'll start looking at the Dwarf Deck first, I guess. So this deck, we'll take a look at the heroes in a second. This deck has a mechanic that's mostly on the cards in the deck, and not really on the abilities on the heroes. But there are cards in this deck that it's kind of like a delving or a, what do they call it in Magic? Tutoring mechanic, I guess. I think that's the name for it, where you're drawing cards or you're like searching for certain cards. That might not be the right term. So what it is there are cards that will tell you to search a certain number of cards, or like take like 3 cards off the top of your deck and discard them. And then there are cards in here that have text on them. Their ability says like, when this card is discarded, do X. Or there's an ally in here that's like, if this card gets discarded from your deck, I think it says put it into play. So you're trying to get free card play through that discarding cards from your deck ability that's on some of like the event cards and some things that are in this deck. But let's take a look at the heroes. The heroes are going to want dwarves in play, like this guy, Ori. If you control at least 5 dwarf characters, draw 1 additional card at the beginning of the resource phase. So he's going to give you card draw if you have a bunch of dwarfs. Dane Ironfoot. Oh, I guess I didn't go over the other stuff. 8 threat starting, 2 willpower, 2 attack, 1 defense, 3 hit points. Dane Ironfoot is 11 starting threat, 1 willpower, 2 attack, 3 defense, 5 hit points. If he is ready, dwarf characters get +1 attack and +1 willpower. So you're not going to want to commit him to the quest. He's going to help your other dwarves pump up their quest and attack power. If he's ready. So you really got to think about if you're going to exhaust him to do something, or you need an ability or a card or someone else that can ready him after he defends or something. Because 3 defense is nothing to ignore. 3 defense is pretty good. And then we got Bilfer. 7 threat, 2 willpower, 1 attack, 2 defense, only 3 hit points. But as an action, you can pay 1 resource from a different hero's resource pool to add a resource to Bilfer. And any player can trigger this ability. So, say for example, I have Steward of Gondor on somebody over here in the Gondor deck, which is in the deck, and I'm pumping up their resources a lot. I could take a resource from over here and put it on Bilfer to get another lore resource. So we've got 2 lore and 1 leadership over here, and a starting threat of 26. That's our Dwarf deck. The Gondor deck, there are some cards in here that benefit from having a really high threat, so 40 or more threat, which is pretty dangerous, especially with this deck, because stupid bees are a 40, and they'll just outright kill somebody if they engage, because they do 5 damage. Let's take a look at these heroes. And we've got a starting threat of 32 over here. So this is a high threat deck. So starting threat 10, this is just straight 2s down, and 4 hit points. After you engage an enemy, add 1 resource to Moblung's resource pool. So here's another one that probably can be building up resources that Bilfer can take. I've got Boromir, 11 threat, 1 willpower, 3 attack, 2 defense with 5 hit points, which is good. While Boromir has at least 1 resource on his resource pool, Gondor allies get 1 attack. And there's another card. Let me just try to find it because it's a good synergy card for that ability. Yeah. So if we can keep 1 resource on Boromir and we can get Visionary Leadership on Boromir, while attached hero has at least 1 resource in its resource pool, Gondor characters get +1 willpower. So we'll get +1 willpower and +1 attack if we can keep a resource on Boromir if we get that card into play. And then we've got Prince Emmeril. I think I'm butchering these names again, probably. 11 starting threat, 2 willpower, another 3 attack character, 2 defense, 4 hit points. After a character leaves play, ready Prince Emmeril. So this is another character where I could think about if I'm going to have a defender that blocks and gets killed, I might as well just quest with him because he'll ready before our attack phase, and then I can get his 3 attack power, or 4 if he's buffed from Boromir, onto a creature, onto an enemy, a bad guy. So I'm playing Passage through Mirkwood again, the first scenario of the revised core set, like I said. I've got Flies and Spiders set up already. It takes 8 quest points to get past this stage, and the setup instructions, like before, were get a forest spider and an old forest road out into play. Well, I just cannot hold on to these cards today. Apparently I can't do 2 things at once. Well, I can't even speak, apparently. So I think we'll cut this deck now, draw some starting hands. I'm kind of looking for Steward of Gondor, or maybe just the other attachment for Boromir in a starting hand over here. I don't really know for sure what I'm looking for over here in a starting hand, but we'll see. 6 cards. Take a look at what we got. So this is interesting. This is kind of something that I was talking about. So Dane, this is a 0 cost attachment. You attach it to a hero, and then you just discard it to ready that hero. So it doesn't cost anything to get out. Oh yes, I do know what I'm seeing this. I remember what I was looking for, and this is a card I was looking for. So this is an item attached to a dwarf hero. You can exhaust this to give the attached hero any one of the card icons. So it's like getting a resource of a different type. So I may just keep this hand because I have that card. Well, here's another good card. Yeah, I think this is a keeping hand. We'll probably look at the rest of these guys. I'll show you this one too, because this one has that mechanic on it. So here's another good card, Legacy of Durin. Attached to a dwarf hero. After you play a dwarf character from your hand, exhaust Legacy of Durin to draw a card. So here we've got some card draw. We've got some resource sharing. We've got a readying card. This is one of the guys I was talking about. So this guy, if he's discarded from your deck, you can put it into play under your control for free. So not somebody you really want to see in your hand, but I think the rest of this stuff is worth holding. So I might want to, I'm probably going to want to play this guy before I play my Legacy of Durin card, unless I get a different condition, because I think I would have to do this. So this guy says, after Miner of Iron Hills enters play, choose and discard one condition attachment from play. It doesn't say you may, it just says do it. And the Legacy card I showed you has the condition trait on it. So I think we'll keep this hand. I like that resource generation. It's not really resource generation, it's kind of like resource sharing, which I may put on one of these lore guys so that I can get an extra leadership, because I have 1 leadership and 2 lore. And over here we've got 2 leadership and 1 tactics. We have no spirit here. Which is kind of a bummer, because so we're not going to have that. I really like that card that cancels when revealed effects. So what did we get over here? So Foe Hammer, this is a 0-cost event that we can play. So after a hero destroys an enemy, you can exhaust a weapon to draw some cards. Okay. Let me just flip through real quick to see if I did not get either Steward of Gondor or that other thing. So you know what, instead of spending time looking at these cards, I'm just going to scoop, shuffle, and we'll take a close look at the next hand, because I really want to dig for those other cards. And I know these are the starter decks and people are kind of wondering what kind of cards might be in there, but I also don't want to make the video like, this isn't a let's go through every single card of these decks kind of video. It's a test them out playing against a scenario. All right, we'll cut 3, 6. Captain of Gondor. This one's interesting. Did I get any of those cards? I did not get the cards. Bummer. So I got another one of those Foe Hammer cards. So here's Captain of Gondor. This is attached to a warrior hero, which we could put on Boromir. After you optionally engage an enemy, I can exhaust this card to give the attached hero +1 attack and -1 defense. Or is it +1 defense? It's +1, it just doesn't show up very well. So it gives him +1 to his combat stats until the end of the round. So that's decent. Gondorian Spearman. I think Gondorian Spearman is like a core set card. Sentinel can defend for the other character, or for the other player, I mean. And if you declare it as a defender, it's like auto, that's an auto damage. Soldier of Gondor, after this enters play. So this is a card that has the threat mechanic I was talking about on it. You search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Gondor ally and add it to your hand. If you have 40 or more threat, you can add any number of Gondor allies that you see to your hand in that way, and then you shuffle your deck. They don't get put into play, they get added to your hand, but still. And then this is some resource generation. So here's like a good little blocker to get out, I guess. Because once this character leaves play, you can add a resource to a Gondor hero's resource pool. And that could be a character that could ready our hero over here. And here's another interesting character. First time I looked at this one, I looked at the top, I was like, 5 cost for 1/1? What? It does have 3 hit points as an ally, but then lower the cost to play the Citadel Custodian by 1 for each Gondor ally in play. So if you've got a bunch of other Gondor allies in play, then that card could get pretty cheap. And with 1 defense and 3 hit points, could be a 2-round blocker. You know, someone that could stick around for a couple of rounds blocking. But we're stuck with this hand. I think that's it. Let's get some resources out here. Draw cards, our first player over here. After this enters play, discard the top 3 cards of your deck, then choose and shuffle 1 card from your discard pile back into your deck. So this would be one of those, a card that you would be using to try to find one of these like minor cards that could be played from here, and then one of the other cards that you discard to get shuffled back in. So you're hoping you get a card like this that actually can come into play, but this could be a little dangerous if you're wearing your deck down quite a bit. That was the card draw over here. Now we need to draw over here. Oh, we got Visionary Leadership. Sweet. So this is the one that if there's a resource on the hero, Gondor characters get +1. So I'm going to want to get this onto Boromir. He's unfortunately not going to have a resource to get the buffs right now, though. Plus, we are not going to have anybody to help block. All right, so that's card draw. Then we go to planning. First player's over here. I kind of want to get this 1 ally out before I get my condition out. I might as well do this now. So let me get this. This is that 0 cost attachment. I'll just attach it to Dane. Ironfoot. I might have said Durin earlier, but it's Dane. So I have 2 lore and 1 leadership. I'm pretty sure it's leadership. I probably should have looked that up. Oh, it's right there on the back of the book. It is leadership. I want to get this into play, so I'm probably going to hold on to that leadership resource. Yeah, I should get this dwarf into play so that I don't have to discard this condition later. So let's just do that. He can be a little blocker dude. So he's a 2 cost, 1 attack, 1 defense, 2 hit points guy. I'm going to save this to build up for next turn. So we will pass the play over to here. So we're going to spend 2 resources. Actually, maybe I wait till next turn to do that. If I keep this here, I might get a little blocker dude out. I'm going to play this tactics. I'm going to use this tactics resource to attach Captain of Gondor to a warrior hero, which is only Boromir. It's not a restricted card or anything. That's the one that after I optionally engage an enemy, I can exhaust it to buff up Boromir's stats. And I think I will play this Squire of the Citadel with that resource. So that's the guy that when he leaves play, I can add resources to the resource pool. So we've got a dwarf in play. We've got 4 dwarves so far. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good with card play. So we're gonna go to questing. So we've got 3 threat in the staging area. We will probably end up with about 7-ish. I kind of like say about 2 for every card that comes out for this particular scenario. I will commit. So that's 2. We've got 32 threat and 26 threat. The spider's 25, so it's going to engage somebody. At an attack of 2. If we get one other enemy out, so let's do this. So 2, 4, 6, 8, I guess. Actually, wait, no, he's readied, so dwarf characters get an extra. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd like to just dump a bunch on this first quest right here at the beginning. And, oh, yeah, and then first player, I said this last time, is going to get to ready somebody when we travel to Old Forest Road. So actually, I might as well use this guy also. He's a 0, but he gets +1 from here. So we're already looking at 7, 9, 11. Okay, staging area cards. Did I shuffle this already? I don't remember if I did, so I'm just going to do it again. Staging area card. Great. Necromancer's Reach. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. Oops, that's a 3. Fortunately, that guy has 2 hit points. And the next staging area card. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Thanks, game. So, we've got several heroes who are almost dead already. This guy is dead. So we lose his willpower, I believe. But we're going to get to put a bunch on the quest because we didn't get any other cards into the staging area. So it kind of sucked and it was kind of okay at the same time. So we're only looking at 3 threat up here. And we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a bummer. With that one dead guy, and this stage would have been done already. It's at 7. I can do math. 10 minus 3. 7. Okay, then it's travel phase. Yep. We travel to Old Forest Road. And we're going to ready this person, Boromir. No, Bilfer. Boromir, he's not even a dwarf. Because we're first player on this side. There's something about a hero leaves, when someone leaves play. After a character leaves play, ready the prince. And we had a character leave play. So the prince is readied. Okay, that's travel. Optional engagements. We're going to optionally engage over here to get our benefits. After you engage an enemy, we add a resource to this person's resource pool. Mablung. After you optionally engage an enemy, exhaust this to get +1/+1. So I'm just going to note that he's got his bonuses. And we're good. So we go to fighting. There's no other enemies to do engagement checks, so we go to fighting, get a shadow card, and then bad guys attack. We will have the Squire of the Citadel, sorry Squire, block. There's no shadow effect on these bats here, so that just goes away. He is buffed his first turn, so he's got 3 damage, but it's just going to kill this guy. Then after the Squire of Citadel leaves play, we can add a resource to a Gondor hero's resource pool. And we're just going to put it on Boromir because we still want to be able to spend leadership, but have a resource there to get the buff. And we will attack with Boromir. So Boromir has +1, so he starts at 3. +1 because he has a resource, and +1 because we did this. So he's at 5 attack. This has 1 defense, is 4 damage. It has 4 hit points. It's gone. All right. Ready, everything. Why won't this go under there? Threat. So 27, 33. Pass first player. Start over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know the Dwarf deck has a heal in it. I don't think this deck does. Then draw cards. Gondorian Shield. So this is a restricted card. Costs 1 tactic resource. Get +1 defense, +2 defense instead if the attached hero has the Gondor trait. And we've all got Gondor on this side. So it might be kind of interesting to play this deck with the Rohan deck because you'll have some crossovers with the Gondor trait there. So I may actually want to play that. Let's draw our card on this side. Dori, 3 cost. After a hero is assigned any amount of damage, exhaust Dori to place the damage on Dori instead. Where were you 1 turn ago, Dori? So that's draw cards, planning. We should probably get this shield into play. I mean, Boromir could just be a huge defender. Well, we want to get Visionary Leadership into play. This is the one that's going to give everybody +1, or Gondo characters +1 willpower. So we'll pay 2, we'll leave a resource. This is gone. I should put it up here because this one doesn't need to exhaust. So as long as he has a resource, everybody gets +1 attack and +1 willpower. So we've got 1 more leadership we can spend and 2 tactics we can spend. I feel like maybe we should play 2 tactics to get the Spearman into play, just so we have an ally out there. So we're left with 1 leadership. It's possible we may want to share that over here. So we'll see, what do we want to spend? What do we want to get over here? Well, we want visionary leadership, right? Or not visionary leadership. We want Navri's belt. So we're spending the 2 leadership. We'll do Navri's belt. I think we'll attach it to Bilfer. Because if he can get resources from other places and then can make them whatever kind of resource he wants, which is probably going to be leadership, because this deck has lore and leadership in it, right? So now, I feel like I should get another ally into play just in case I need somebody to block or something. So we'll play our guy that does the discard 3 cards from here thing. So that's going to be 2 resources from lore. Then after he enters play, we discard the top 3 cards from our deck. So let's see what's going to get discarded. 1, 2, 3. So nothing that has a when discarded from deck effect. And we get to choose and shuffle one of these cards. Well, we get to choose and shuffle 1 card from your discard pile. It doesn't have to be one of these cards. It's a card from the discard pile. So we got Cram, which is the same thing we've got attached here to Dane, which might be nice to have still in our deck. But we also got Lure of Moria, which is an action that just readies all dwarf characters. Can you imagine this card in like a double dwarf thing going on? And then another one of these prospector dudes. What do I want to put back in my deck? Maybe this one that just readies somebody. I don't want this condition guy back. So yeah, we'll put this Cram card back in and then shuffle. So that's actually an interesting card that I didn't realize it was anything in your discard pile. I thought it was one of the cards you drew. So if you had like a different ally or something that you lost, that you wanted to shuffle back in, I think there's at least 2 Gandalfs in here, but maybe that'd be a way to put Gandalf back into your deck too. Not maybe, it is a way to put Gandalf back into your deck. He's expensive though. I don't know how many opportunities you're going to have to play multiple Gandalfs in one game. Okay, we've got no resources. Unless I want another lore. I do. So as an action during this, I'm going to pay 1 resource from a hero's resource pool. I'm going to take this leadership resource and put it on Bilfer. And then I'm going to get Legacy of Durin into play. I can exhaust this to draw a card after I play a dwarf character. So let's just put it on Ori. I still want to try to get 5 dwarf characters into play to get the benefit from Ori's ability. Oh wait, this guy shouldn't be discarded. He was played. I was like, wait a minute, I thought I had an ally over here. He's the guy that searched the top cards of the deck. All right, so We're going into questing. We'll probably get about 4, and we need 4. We need to put 3 on here and 1 on here. So let's go with the prince, who was going to count at 3, gets +1 from this. We'll keep the spearman to block. Um, 3, 6. So we don't need a whole lot, actually. That's 6. And let's use Bilfer. He gets +1 from Dane because Dane is readied. So we're looking at 9. Ooh, you know what? Ugh. I don't. That'd be super unlucky if I drew another one of those treachery cards. Ugh, gross. Well, Dane can block. He's got 3 defense if I have to. What am I at? 6. Only having 3 hit points on these heroes kind of sucks. I guess I'll use him. So I'm at 8. When revealed, the player with the highest threat level attaches this card to one of their heroes, counts as a condition attachment with the text. Attached hero does not ready during the refresh phase unless you pay 2 resources from that hero's pool. That's over here. Highest threat. Too bad I can't choose. Now this condition dude. Now this is when this condition dude would be awesome. Because it's not a condition that's on you. It's just discard 1 condition in play. Two resources from that hero's pool. I guess here. Forest Gate is 2 threat. After you travel here, the first player may draw 2 cards. So we're only looking at 2 threats. I had something like 8, so that's plenty for this one. And then this is done. And now we're at a fork in the road where we just need 2 quest points for this one. And we've got no enemies to fight. So I just go to readying. This guy doesn't ready. And threats. So 34. 28. Pass first player. Yeah, there was nothing for us to attack. I guess I could have traveled here if I wanted to. It's 4, that one's 2. I probably should. Let's travel there. First player gets to draw 2 cards. Steward of Gondor is awesome. Ready a defending Gondor character, that character. So this is an event. Oh, you can ready so this is a neat card. You can ready a Gondor character, and then they get bonus defense till the end of the phase. Bonus defense is okay, but it's the readying that's a good ability. Steward of Gondor. Then pass first player. Resources. We did not engage an enemy, so I didn't get the bonus of the power here. Draw cards. Oh, this is the condition, dude. Perfect timing. Looks like he's getting played. Got just enough resources to do that too. Draw a card over here. Another foe hammer. I don't have any weapon cards though for that to benefit from that. So now we go into planning, and we're first player over here. So I don't think there's any question. We'll just do this. It costs 2. When he enters play, we will discard an attachment. Doesn't ready though until the ready step. Then we've got this Legacy of Durin that we can exhaust when a dwarf character comes into play to draw a card. We got Glowing. While you control at least 5 dwarf characters, Glowing gains response. After you play Glowing from your hand, choose a hero. Add 2 resources to that hero's hero pool, or resource pool. So that's cool, because currently I do control 5 dwarves. I don't know why words escape me. One leadership. I can't do anything with that, so no reason to keep looking at it. I actually could ready this guy and give him defense now, but I don't think I need to do that. So if I play Steward of Gondor, then I don't have the resource here to get the buffs. Yes, I do. What am I talking about? I got a resource here. So the question is, who do I want to put Steward of Gondor on? It's not restricted or anything. Probably this tactics character, although I don't have a whole lot of high cost tactics cards. In my hand anyways. So I'll pay 1 from each of these guys. I'm gonna do it anyway. No, I'm gonna put it on leadership. I'll put it over here on Prince. Then I'm going to exhaust it to get 2 resources. I'm going to play Gondorian Shield with this tactics resource. It's restricted. None of this stuff is restricted. Yeah, we'll put it here. Could give him more block. Then I'm going to pay these 2 leadership resources to play Soldier of Gondor. So after he enters play, I can search the top 5 cards on my deck for a Gondor ally and add it to my hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you shuffle your deck. So attachment, Gandalf. So we've got a Squire, Errand Rider, and here's a weapon. So this would have to go onto Boromir. Attached to a noble hero because he's my own. Oh no, I guess the prince is noble also. So either Boromir or Prince Emmeril. You get +1 attack, +2 if your threat's 40 or higher. So if you're playing in the danger zone, you can get more attack. All right, so these are my two choices. We know the Squire, when he comes into play, when he leaves play, you can add a resource to a resource pool. And here's one, Errand Rider. Has no traits, basically. It's pretty cheap, though, but it allows you to move one resource from one of your heroes to a hero on the other side of the table. I think I'll take the Squire, because that's resource generation. The more of these Gondor allies we get out, it makes that custodian cheaper and cheaper also. All right, we're done with the planning phase. Now we're going to do the questing phase. To beat this level, we've got we need 4 here and 2 here, so we need 6. Plus we're probably going to pull out 3 or 4-ish. We have not seen a lot of enemies yet. Or locations, really. So we'll probably pull out 4. So I'm probably going to be looking for 10 questing power. So we've got 3 here with the buff. Five. 6, 7, 8, 11. I'm just going to go for it. I mean, if Bilford dies, it would suck, but such is life. Yep, so we're at 11. Wow, this guy sucks. Chieftain Uthak. Chieftain Uthak gets +2 for each resource token on him. After he attacks, place 1 resource token on him. 3 attack, 3 defense. Needs 6 hit points to die. So what did we have? 11, right? And another forest gate, so it's the same as this location. So the threat is 2, 4. We had 11, so we put 4 here. That goes away. And then 2 would go here. So that's plenty for that to go away. And the reaction, or the force on that is, when you defeat that stage, we have to pick one of these level 3 stages. Got flipped over. I'm going to roll anyways, so odd, even, even. It's the same one where we need 10 quest points, so it's good. It's not the one that draws a bunch of mean old spiders. So that's quest resolution. Is there anything special about quest resolution? I don't think so. That was mainly the other deck. Yeah. Travel. After you travel, let's travel to Forest. Maybe I don't travel to Forest Gate. If it's down here, it contributes 2. If it's up here, I need 4 to overcome it. I'm not going to travel there. Yeah, I'm not going to travel. So now we get to optional engagements. So how much damage can I do to this guy? He's going to come in swinging the first time with 3 attack. We can go in swinging with 2. He's probably going to need to block if I engage this chieftain guy. I don't have to engage him, though, because my threat right now is only 34, and he's looking for 35. He's worth 4 victory points. I'm just wondering if I can defeat him, or if he's not going to be that big of a deal, do I engage him? I guess it'll make the questing easier next time. Let's just do it. So we're going to engage him. If I optionally engage an enemy, I get +1/+1. So let's do that as a reminder. We have at least 1 resource, so we get an extra +1. And then after you engage an enemy, I get to add a resource. Ready a defending Gondor character. Okay. That's interesting. So maybe Boromir actually defends also, instead of the Spearman. We would get 2 more damage in. 5, 6, 7. He's just got... I kind of want a character to leave play to ready the prince, because the prince will come in with 3 attack instead of just... Yeah, I think, okay. So, that's optional engagements. Deal shadow cards. Bad guys attack. Shadow. Defending player must choose and exhaust 1 character they control. 2 characters instead of this attack is undefended. Well... Thanks, game, for ruining my plan. So the Spearman gets exhausted. I believe. Sure. We're going to defend with how much? 3. He attacks with 3, so he won't take any damage, because he's not going to have any resources on him. All right, so he's going to attack. I will defend with Boromir. Somewhere there's an action window here. This is where these flowcharts are like super important. Resolve enemy attacks. Active player resolves the next attack. Next player becomes active player. It's not an action, it's a response, I think, actually, though. No, it's an action. Ready a defending Gondor character. So, if there's no action window, then when do I get to play this? I should be able to play this now, because I'd have to pick somebody to be the defender for it to be a defending Gondor character. But I don't see an action window in this... Oh, there's action windows. There's action windows in the enemy attack resolution. So enemy attack initiates, then there's an action window. Declare defender, then there's an action window. Okay, so I'm declaring the defender. I have an action window. I'm going to pay this tactics resource to play this card to ready Boromir so he can attack. And he gets +1 defense. So because of this, he's at +1. Because of that, he's at +1. So he's at 4. The chieftain is coming in with 3 attacks, so no damage goes through. Now I get to attack. He's at 5. Chieftain has 3 defense. So, or actually, I forgot to put a resource token on here. So he's going to be even a bigger attacker next turn. And he takes 2 damage. So we survived the chieftain's attack. And then that's it. No ranged characters or anybody that can attack over that direction or anything. So we ready? Everything. Now he can ready because the web is gone. Oops, that's upside down. Ready, ready. Increase threat, so 35, 29. Pass first player. Resources and cards. So, cards, first player. Choose an enemy engaged with a player. That enemy, ha ha ha. If we don't make it, then guess who doesn't get to attack? Dory. So another Dory. I think we discarded a Dory. Or no, is Dory the one we shuffled back in? Oh no, we have one in our hand. So Dory can absorb damage. We saw Dory already. But we're going to quest like a bunch of madmen and just try to finish the game now. There better not be another one of those treachery cards in there. I shouldn't say stuff like that out loud. That goes away because that's till the end of the round. So we drew cards. Planning phase. First player over here. First thing we're going to do is get some resources with Steward of Gondor. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's probably a forever card. Like never go away card. And I might as well spend 1 leadership resource to get another squire out, because that's another Gondor ally. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 Gondor allies in play. So that's going to reduce the cost of our Citadel Custodian by 3. So he's only going to cost us 2. There's our Steward of Gondor resources. And I'll leave that tactics one just in case I need to play feint to get away from the attack. Now we will switch over here. Going to play Glowing. Can I play Glowing? I can. So oh wait, I have 5 dwarves. I should have gotten an extra card from this ability on Ori. If you control at least 5 dwarf characters, draw 1 additional card at the beginning of the resource phase. After you play this person, return the topmost attachment in any player's discard pile to their hand. I don't think we have any attachments. No. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. All right. And I don't have to exhaust to do that. But what I could do here, I'm going to play Glowing. And in order to play Glowing, I need to exhaust this and give Bill for the leadership icon. So I can play 3 resources, play Glowing. Glowing says if you have at least 5 dwarves, then after you play Glowing from your hand, choose a hero, add 2 resources to that hero's resource pool. So Gloin comes out. I think I will put them on Ori. No, I'll put them on Bilfer. Because Bilfer could be leadership or lore, right? That's the smart thing to do. Sometimes I like to do smart things. Sometimes. But then, after you play a dwarf character from your hand, exhaust this to draw a card. Thor's Map. I don't want to do this, though. But this one says that you can discard it. You attach it to a hero, and then sometime when you do a travel action, you can discard it to basically... you could like swap the locations. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to play Dory. At a cost of 3 lore, just to get another dwarf out. That's all for playing cards. Okay, quest phase. We're just going to try to end the game here. Commit characters. I don't see any reason not to commit almost everybody except for Dane. Commit. We won't commit the Spearman or Boromir, but we will commit pretty much everybody else. So I'm just going to flip these and see if there's any weird win revealed. No. And no. So there's basically 6 here. And because of my bonuses, I have 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 14. We get the bonus from this. 16, 18, 21, 23, 24. So that's more than enough to put 10 on there, and we win. Okay, so there is the very first scenario from the revised core set with the Defenders of Gondor and the Dwarves of Durin. So now the question for me is, which of the 4 decks do I like the best? What's my initial reaction? I kind of like... I don't know if pairing the Defenders of Gondor and the Riders of Rohan, that seems like it's going to be 2 decks that would have the ability to really pump up attacks. But maybe that's okay, because as long as you can get this visionary leadership into play and keep a resource on Boromir, you are going to be pumping up your questing ability as well, but maybe not as much. I kind of like the funniness of maybe pairing up the dwarves and the elves. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I have to think about which 2 that I want to play through a quest. I don't see any major downfalls of either of them. I just don't know if having 2 that could be light on questing but heavy on attack would be the right way to go, or if I should try to pair. Maybe they were fine. Maybe the pairings I had already together were kind of fine. And then I'll just have to pick which one I wanted to play more. There was a lot less to think about with these 2, I think. Okay, sorry, I had to throw in a cut. I had to sneeze. I feel like there was a lot less to think about and keep track of. There were a lot more effects to look at and remember on all the cards in the other 2. But that actually kind of makes them fun. you have a similar thing with Dane here that you kind of had with Galadriel in the other one, where she needs her attachment in order to like do anything. Except that she, your allies, when they come out into play, they don't have to exhaust a quest, which is helpful. Yeah, so I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll just play the pairings as they already are. Okay, but there you have it. There's another testing, first look kind of at how these decks play. It is only the intro scenario from the core set, but I think it went okay. Let me know if I made any rules mistakes, which is very highly possible, or if there's anything else that you saw that I missed in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this Lord of the Rings LCG playthrough. I hope you enjoy everything I post on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.